Welcome everybody. Sorry that my ring light isn't on. I have to do a little bit bad lighting because, well, the ring light decided to shit the bed. And, well, I had to kick that bitch out because I ain't dealing with that shit. So, yeah, welcome to the weekly recap. We're back. And we got some topics. It's going to be Acolyte and Disney. Acolyte and Disney. Acolyte and Disney.
We're back. And it's the same. Acolyte and Disney.
Pretty much. Giving our thoughts on the last episode of The Acolyte.
And Disney.
The different controversies within that stirred up a hornet's nest within the Star Wars community. I'm going to kind of be debunking some of this stuff because I am looking at this show from an objective standpoint. It's not Star Wars. It is terrible. It is Star Wars adjacent, as Kate put it before we started. But this show is objectively bad. I want to point that out. I don't see it as Star Wars. However, I am going to point out a few things, and it's going to piss some people off. But I just want you all to know from the bottom of my heart, I do not care if you get pissed off from what I say. The truth is the truth. Facts don't care about your fucking feelings. Let's go. So, before we do get started, make sure if you're new here and you like what you see, subscribe to the channel. One thing I will say to you all, I am not going to beat around the bush. I am not going to I'm not going to tiptoe around things. I'm going to tell it to you straight. That's my channel. That's what I do. People attacking my channel, they can attack my channel all they want. My channel has remained consistent. And my viewpoints have remained consistent unless they have proven to be shown to be false with proper evidence to suggest that. And then, yes, I will actually amend my words. So, my schedule coming up is tomorrow is not going to be a Monday rant thing yet. I am most likely going to try getting the Monday rants going where people can come on, rant about their day, or rant about something in Hollywood or politics, whatever. It's going to be Monday rants, Orange Hat's Monday rants. And
like open mic rant.
Yeah, open mic rants, except for personal shit. If you have personal shit or if you have some sort of fucking Twitter war, you're going to keep that shit on your own channel. You're not bringing it on mine.
But if you want to yell about clouds or like, know,
I mean, if you want to go
Disney
out and
Star Wars,
if you want to go out and say that the fucking sun is green and the freaking sky is purple, and you want to rant about that, fucking come on and rant about it. I mean, it's basically online therapy, folks.
Yeah. We'll just come and support and listen to you.
Oh yeah, that too. And also, Tuesday is the final of the trilogy thoughts with the Karate Kid trilogy, Daniel-san trilogy. And yep. And then Tuesday night is the Barroom Podcast, where on Society Reviews channel, we're going to be talking other Hollywood stuff. Wednesday is Ones and Twos on Mara's channel, Mara Jade Shadow. We're going to be talking Lost World Jurassic Park, the second one. And then Thursday, exclusively on X, because I don't do them on YouTube anymore, we're going to be talking The Ghost in the Darkness. And then Friday is Orange Hat Uncensored and Janet from Another Planet's shit show. So with all that out of the way, Kate, how you been?
Pretty good. I had a pretty chill weekend. If anybody knows anything about floating the rivers in Texas, that's what I did this weekend, so it was pretty chill. I did not preface this episode, I did not enjoy watching The Acolyte. I'm watching it, so you don't.
We're watching it. Yeah, so you don't really have to.
Or if you don't want to see it, if you do want to see it,
go ahead. Yeah.
Go ahead. But I will apologize because I am biased.
Yeah. Orange is better. Lens. I'm giving the semi-biased with a sprinkle of objective.
Orange is better at taking a step back, and I tapped out of Star Wars a long time ago. So just want to preface, I am biased.
Yeah. But yeah, folks, when it comes to Disney Star Wars, I have said it from the beginning. I'm not a fan of even Filoni's stuff from 2008. I see that there is some stuff that, oh, that's cool, that's shiny, that's spectacular. It still isn't Star Wars. It hasn't been Star Wars for me since 2008. And as much as I love the Darth Plagueis novel, I still don't consider that Star Wars. And that's one of my favorite novels.
And this is why I like that Orange has like different people on, because I like some of Filoni's stuff from the Clone Wars.
Yeah, different opinions are welcome here.
And I can objectively see where they lore break. I can objectively see where fans don't like it. But I enjoyed the Clone Wars series. I see the objections. I can agree. But sometimes allow me to like trashy stuff sometimes, guys, okay? Don't attack Orange or us in the comments if we like things that are garbage. Right?
Yeah. It's called a guilty pleasure. We're allowed to have guilty pleasures.
Right, okay? Like it's and not even a guilty pleasure per se. Like I'm allowed to think, yeah, okay, it's bad, but it's so bad it's good, or it's so bad I just
bad and good. What is something that is so bad and good? A fun question. What movie is your favorite so bad it's good movie? I mean, you're putting us on the spot here, Neo. Now I got to think.
Ooh, I just like honestly any early 2000s like cheesy. I would say, okay, objectively speaking, The Mummy's probably a bad movie. Like if I sit there and try to deconstruct it, it's not great film. But subjectively speaking, I enjoy the shit out of those movies. Except Scorpion King and the third one. But the first two I really love. They're really fun. But if we're gonna break it down plot wise and like all dialogue and everything and look at it objectively, it's not a great movie. I wouldn't say maybe it's not bad per se, but it's like it's meh,
My choice, you guys are gonna laugh your fucking asses off at this, by the way. So bad it's good for me. The Sharknado movies.
Yes, they're enjoyable, but they're so bad. They're so bad. I will add another one to that. There was one called Sharks of the Corn, and it was basically Children of the Corn meets Sharknado. Okay, if you have a guest review, you want to do that, Orange? Because it's so funny.
I will have to. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to look that shit up.
Sharks of the Corn. It's so bad. It's so bad, but it's funny.
Shit. That shit up.
Yeah. That's a good question. What's yours, Neozoic? So bad it's good movie.
Yeah, what's yours, Neozoic?
Or in the comments, anybody else? What's your
anybody in the comments? We got 2 people watching, so yeah, put yours into comments, folks. And we also got another 4 people on X. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, so share it in X too. Yeah, what's your favorite? It's so bad it's good. Or it's so bad it went back to being good. I will say it's not so bad it's good, but it's kind of similar down that same train of thought. The Happening, it's awful. It's a terrible movie. Nothing happens, and it's called The Happening. It's objectively just it's so bad. It's an M. Night Shyamalan film. However, if you watch the film as if it's a joke, like as if you put yourself in the perspective like, hey, they made this bad on purpose or they made this as a joke, it's so funny. So, next time you want to watch a bad film, just maybe switch the perspective and go, maybe they did this bad on purpose.
Another good choice for so bad or good, the Avatar films. I like the Avatar Blue People movies. I like them.
Okay.
I thought they were good.
Yeah.
But anyway,
visually enjoyable.
Getting to the Acolyte shit, folks. So we got topics that we're going to address specifically, but our cursory thoughts. This episode, for me, objectively speaking, is better than the 3rd episode that we had last week.
Sure.
Or the week. Well, the week before last week, because
whatever episode 3 was.
Yeah. Episode 3 was terrible. This one. Semi-tolerable. I mean, it still gave me gas to watch, but
right. But like, if I were gonna rate the last one, I would have rated like a 3, and this one maybe like like a 6.
I'll put it at a 6. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, the last minute or 2 of it actually was interesting because it's like, okay, big bad just stepped out. Let's see what's going on.
I hate it when they do that too, because it's almost as if they're trying to make up for the fact that they didn't have any substance in their episode, and then they're like, let's put something crazy at the end, to like fish hook the audience, which is what I feel like happened in this episode, where they're like, it was kind of meh, and then ooh, intrigue, like.
Yep. And then so the writing is bad. It's like, but you cheated and stuff like this, and it's like now that my sister's alive, I don't have to deal with this fucking deal. He'll kill you. If he can find me, or the Jedi will put you in prison. Not if I tell them who I know.
Wait, pause, rewind. Before they meet, the last thing she said to her sister was, "I'm going to kill you." Yeah. Because she wanted to freaking leave. And now they're like, we're not going to address that.
She thought, well, in the first or second episode, she was pissed off because she thought her sister was dead. She was on her little fucking revenge tour against Jedi Masters because she thought that her sister died due to their interfering with their moms and shit like that. So in this episode, Master Saul basically tells her sister, the light side sister that we call her, Osha or whatever her name is. It's like when I told her you were alive, her eyes softened, and it's like she may be able to change. She's a murderer. So it shows that Osha, there be darkness in that child. May, there be light in that child. And then when they were kids, fucking May was dark and Osha was light. And it's like, make up your fucking minds.
That switcheroo was so predictable. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Like the second you guys went into fucking puberty or whatever, you freaking switched your sinks and whatever, and the dark one's the light has a little bit of light trickling in, and the light has a little bit of dark muddy in the waters. Fucking
only a Sith deals with absolutes, so
yeah.
That just means that the Jedi need to have a little bit of darkness in them, and we need to explore that so that it reflects today's society.
This show, according to the creators, is a dark side show, basically showing the Jedi from the perspective of the dark side. So they gave that prerequisite going in, and then we see that there is a lower council to the High Council, to the Jedi High Council, and we see the Master Jedi Ki-Adi-Mundi, and also you set up a fucking Wookiee only to fucking kill him,
right?
You set up a fucking Jedi Wookiee,
which is rare.
Which, yes, in the EU, Jedi Wookiees were fucking rare. Like once every generations.
It's rare.
I mean, the only Wookiee Jedi that we know of in the EU was Lobaka, Chewbacca's nephew, and then
even in the Clone Wars, there's only one in episode with like younglings.
Yeah, Gunji, that little fucker.
Yeah.
And he comes out in Bad Batch too. And hey,
I didn't see that one.
See him in.
Again, I'm watching this for you. For you, Orange, and for you, the audience.
You guys, so you don't fucking have to. But if you want to, go ahead, man. Make up your own decisions. I always say that is one of my prefaces. Make it up for yourself. Yeah. We're doing it because it's content. It's content to freaking get out there,
Everything is content.
Yep. And so, they set up, and the writer even said, well, we had this fight scene with the Wookiee, and we cut it out because it was taking away from the plot. The plot is Sith against Jedi. For fuck's sake. This Wookiee died from a Jedi slice, or from a lightsaber slicing it across the chest. How absurd that the thing was, or that the wound was gaping and bleeding.
They cut it for plot, but their plot is like paper thin, though.
Yeah, I know.
Ugh. See,
you got these freaking.
If you're gonna substitute, like your Avatar Blue People was a good pick, because even though the plot's like pretty mid, the visual, like, they make up for it in visuals. So if you're gonna have like a real shit mediocre plot or just kind of like bleh, you
Yeah.
better make it look amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Game of Thrones level, it's trash, but it's watchable because it looks good.
Yeah. And Ki-Adi-Mundi. So moving in further into more detailed stuff about the show, Ki-Adi-Mundi, who is on the Jedi High Council in episode 1, 2, and 3, is discussing the Acolyte character. Now, there are several parts that we're going to talk about in the Ki-Adi-Mundi controversy. One, how Wikipedia changed his date of birth live during and Star Wars Theory caught this. People were telling him about it, and he went, checked it out on Wikipedia, actually recorded how it was being done and whatnot. And it's like, holy shit, yeah, they kind of did. And, well, there's that war that's going on Twitter. Wikipedia is probably going to get sued by Star Wars Theory. I stand with Star Wars Theory because you don't fucking badmouth unless you're going to bring receipts. You don't freaking claim that somebody's making death threats against you and not show the fucking evidence. You know? If you're going to show, or if you're going to make these claims, show the fucking evidence. Otherwise, you're going to get sued for defamation. And, by the way, Star Wars Theory, if you ever do see this, you're suing them for libel and slander, which is defamation. However, libel is written, which is online and whatnot. Slander is spoken. But yeah, I saw the parody video that Star Wars Theory did. Oh my God, yes! The Ki-Adi-Mundi thing. But here's the thing, folks. As much as I find his parody of the Ki-Adi-Mundi thing entertaining, Ki-Adi-Mundi has no idea the Sith are back in this episode. And that's the main gripe from everyone. Because, they're talking about the Sith at a round table with the low council. It's like, did they mention Sith? I watched that scene 3 times. I rewound it and watched it 3 times while I was watching it, both times, so that I could keep it in my head for this discussion. Not once did they talk about a Sith order. They said a splinter faction from the order or some unknown order. Yes, that possibly a Jedi has trained her and whatnot. They didn't mention the Sith. And yes, Master Ki-Adi-Mundi is also a fuck up because when he was on the Jedi Council in episode 1, he was a Jedi Knight. That's something that even George Lucas kind of fucked up when he was doing the prequels. You see, Anakin, how can you be on the council and not be a master? Ask him. That big fucking conehead right there. Ask him. I was a knight when I was put on the council, Anakin. So, yeah. You don't have to be a master to be on the council. I mean, but he's Master Ki-Adi-Mundi. And also, his species lives to be like 50 to 60 year old. Normally, they're 50 to 60 years old. And if they're force sensitive, they can live to a more venerable stage in life, like into their 70s. Ki-Adi-Mundi died at like age 73 in during the Clone Wars. And so it's like, yeah, there was no mention of the Sith because it's like, yeah, he didn't know anything about the Sith. That whole freaking, so yeah, when people were like, how does Ki-Adi-Mundi know about the Sith? He doesn't know about the Sith. She's actually correct. They wrote it so that it was, you guys fucking fell into that bait. You made the poor assumption. I'm sorry to say this. You made the poor assumptions, and you thought that Ki-Adi-Mundi was talking about the Sith. So, the Sith have been extinct for a millennium, except for we knew they were around 100 years ago. But here's the thing, folks. Here's the caveat. You're going to have to wait until the whole damn show fucking finishes to know whether or not anybody in the High Council figures this shit out, because I'm telling you right now, it's already fucked up enough as it is. The whole thing is fucked up. It's breaking canon. It's destroying lore. It's all of that stuff. I mean, we already all know that. But it's also not Star Wars. So in a way, I'm also kind of apathetic to it. So what are your thoughts on Ki-Adi-Mundi being a now long-lived species instead of a short-lived species?
It just goes to show that the writers of the show don't know anything about the Star Wars universe, nor do they care. And it's another example of that. It's, you know what I mean? Like, they're like, oh, let's put it, and it's like they're kind of stupid too. They're like, let's put this character in there and make it cool, and like it'll really be a callback, you know. And then it's like, yeah, you just broke lore though. It's kind of like when Taika Waititi was like, let me put Hercules in my movie, and it's like, yeah, Hercules is already a Marvel character guy. Like, you're not, you didn't
Oh, by
invent
the
this character.
Yeah, that look that you gave him, that outfit you gave him, was the fucking Marvel look, you jackass.
Right, yeah, like
So that's the Marvel-looking Hercules. So
maybe
you
that
think
was a
he's not in
decision
there.
behind the scenes though. Maybe that was a like a, you know, producer who does the, you know, hair and
Yeah,
makeup
it's like
thing.
wardrobe Hercules. Fucking make it work.
Yeah, and then the wardrobe was like, oh, they did their research.
Yeah.
We're
But
like,
getting
oh,
back to
okay,
this,
Hercules, Marvel, got you. Like, easy.
but getting back to the Acolyte and shit with Ki-Adi-Mundi, and then they get out, and it's like, well, yeah, he should never have been in the show. He was not even born yet. They got that right. The fans have that right because it is established in written lore, on page lore. It is not in the movies, which they consider the core canon. The movies are core canon. However, they can't help but break that shit too. So yes, in
Right,
the
they didn't even
core
watch
canon,
those, and there's only 6 of them.
I
Like, come
know,
on.
right? But I mean, folks, I'm inadvertently defending this shit because I'm looking at it from an objective standpoint. They didn't mention the Sith. He doesn't know about the Sith. Yes, they could be a splinter faction. What did the freaking crawl of the beginning of this show say? There are many secret societies, force sensitive societies that are coming out and about. So yeah, it could be a splinter faction, as they said. Now, they didn't mention Sith. However, Vernestra, or whatever that green bald bitch is all about, her name, with freaking polka dots on her head, she's thinking, oh, it could be something darker, and it's like, okay, you're hinting at the Sith when you're talking with Master Jackie Chan, Soul. Also, didn't Legends Canon EU tackle the whole Jedi are not perfect concept before, i.e., the Jedi Covenant from Quarter Comics, Sith Holocaust from the Great Hyperspace War? Yes, they have, Neozoic. Yes, they have. Now, folks, I know I've had some drama with this person I'm about to mention. OG Star Wars, do not fucking go after her or anything. This is not any slight against her. This is actually me respecting her in a sense. She has a lot of EU coverage of a lot of different things, like all of this stuff that Neo here said. She knows her shit. She knows her shit. Me, I know my shit too, just not as detailed as she is. She's more detail oriented, and she's a decent channel to follow. So if you want to learn some EU stuff, check out her videos and whatnot. So yeah, but getting back to the Ki-Adi-Mundi thing, yeah, the Legends version of Ki-Adi-Mundi is that he was born in 93 BBY, before the Battle of Yavin, and his species were shorter lived. They lived about the average human life expectancy now, if you're force sensitive, or if they're force sensitive. And basically, yeah, he was I do believe he was a Jedi Knight when he was on the council in episode 1. He was then given rank of master in those 10 years. But I could be wrong in the thing, but I do have the episode 1 visual dictionary way over there, which does say he was a Jedi Knight when brought onto the council. So yeah, there is that. Objectively, I can see why some would look at the show in a particular lens, despite how terrible the writing is. Some Star Wars fans really know their shit, and Disney keeps insulting them and us. Yes, they do. Disney is doing a lot of this stuff to spite us.
It's
Disney is
not
doing a
just
lot.
Disney. This is
Yeah.
across the board where
Yep.
people just hate people who love lore. This is why Henry Cavill is no longer The Witcher.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, he
he
fucking rage
loved
quit
lore.
because he's like, I'm sick of you guys fucking treating this shit terribly.
Right.
Treat it
He
right.
liked lore. There were certain things that he was like, we should put this in there because that would be awesome. We should put this in there because that would be awesome. And they're like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, and I keep bringing this up. The same thing for Rings of Power. They basically said, "Oh, hey, you fans who like the lore, because the only thing that you've had for about like 90 years or 60 years is no, hold on, 50 years because it's like the 70s when the Silmarillion came out. Anywho,
Yeah.
depending on if you want to take when the Hobbit
It
came
came
out
out post Tolkien's death, so after 73.
Right. Okay. All right. So 40 plus years, all we've had is books, similar to Star Wars fans, and then they shit on the lore. So Star Wars fans are no. I mean, they did the same thing with Doctor Who, except Doctor Who doesn't have any like book lore really. I mean, yes, there are comic books and people have written, fan fiction and stuff, but the canon is just the TV show. They've shit on the canon.
Yeah.
Retconned everything. So this is just whatever IP it is, whatever beloved thing that's there, people will just mess it up and poop on it, and I'm getting sad about it.
Yep. And so with that, we're gonna move to the next the next thing. Hey, Ray Kitty, so happy to see you. How you doing, girl?
What's up, Riot?
So we're gonna move to the next one, which is pronouns in Star Wars. Now, Disney injected their twisted pronouns into Star Wars. However, if you are a Star Wars fan, there are species that are non-binary in Star Wars Legends. Some of the changelings are considered its. If you know the Republic Commando novels, there is a animal that belongs to a Mandalorian known as, or its name is Sir Murderland. It's an it. It's both, or it's hermaphrodite, or it's a hermaphrodite. It's both male and female because it can switch between, and they call it simply it.
That would make sense
in the
if you're
same
having.
Republic Commando, huh?
That would make sense with all of the like different species that there are. That there would be. Like that makes sense.
Yeah.
In the world of Star Wars, for there to be like, oh hey, we found this planet of the species of hermaphroditic, whatever's, yeah. XYZ.
But in this show, they have the Osha, the light side twin with the darkness in her. They have her asking, is he or they with us? And it's like, yeah, you put that in there. They're saying, oh, we put that in there as a joke and you guys all fell for it because the thing goes by he, him pronouns or whatever, some shit. And yet they say it's a joke, and it's like, no, you actually put that in so that you can establish in your twisted, fucked up, weird canon, which is not real Star Wars. Again, I'm going to keep saying that, folks, because I have to say that a lot. Disney Star Wars is not Star Wars. So that some people who are going to be spying on my channel, which I do know that you guys are, you're going to be reporting to anything where I give a shill for Disney or whatever. But yeah, it's not Star Wars. But they have it in their twisted canon now that, oh, they got the they-thems and Star Wars. Hello. Yeah.
Do you feel seen?
Yeah. Do you fucking feel special, folks? I don't. Nor do I care. Because here's the thing. Are the voices in your head in the room with us? Yeah, right. Right? That makes sense. There, where there's aliens, are a complete sense of different sense from humanity. Yeah. Also, folks, pronouns and LGBTQ and shit like that. apparently Daphne Keene is confirming that Jackie, a Jedi, likes Osha that way, gay, as in she is gay. So it's like that was very fucking blatant. It's like, yeah, she's fucking flirting with this kid. Not very Jedi-like, you know? Not very Jedi-like at all. I mean, and even Osha's fucking flirting back with her. It's like, you guys are seriously fucking pulling this shit. I mean, yeah, lesbians in space. So what? We had fucking gay Mandalorians in the EU. You didn't break a glass ceiling here. But yeah, so
but also,
now they
who
can finally say that they're fucking
cares?
pronouns.
If
And
there's
yes,
no
who
substance,
fucking
who
care?
cares? Like, if I went around and was like, "Hi, I'm Caitlin. I'm a heterosexual," people would be like, "Who? Yeah, so what?" And that's exactly the reaction that I should get.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the reaction that everyone should get when they tell people their sexual preference, because apparently you're born with it. So
Yeah.
how are you supposed to be congratulated for something that you didn't get to choose? What?
And then we're getting to the final little bit of the Acolyte show that I also heard was going around the fucking grapevine. Oh, Sith, fly now? Because the fucking Sith guy comes floating down, and everybody's like, oh, no, got a bitch about it. I hate to break it to you, folks, but Legends did it first. Yeah. You remember the GT Clone Wars? Kate?
Yeah.
Who did a kind of flight thing in that show? Kind of looked like he was flying, but he was really just using the Force to float down.
Wasn't that Palpatine?
No, Count Dooku.
Oh, okay. I was like,
In the episode where
it wasn't
what's
flying,
her
it was
name?
like falling with style. It's kind of like how Palpatine jumped toward Yoda and like that spin thing.
Oh yeah, you're talking about episode 3, and that was not,
Or not Yoda.
and
Wasn't it
the
Mace
Jedi
Windu?
Masters, but yeah. But in this thing, he comes floating down, and everybody's like, yeah, they fly down. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ. You guys forgot that fucking Count Dooku literally floated from a freaking platform down to freaking face Asajj Ventress when he was, or when he brought her in for training and shit. I'm sorry to say, folks, you got no argument here that EU did it first. He used the Force to float up, and then he used the Force to keep floating downward. It's not out of the realm of possibility for somebody to actually do that if they have the freaking skill to do it, if they know how to do it, have the proper precise control to do it. So I wouldn't make that argument. I'm just saying. But
I think they just wanted to say they fly now because that line they thought was so cool in what was it? Episode 9.
Yeah, that thing. Their episode 9 version thing, yeah.
Yeah, whatever episode 9 was called.
Episode 9 for me is like, I think it's like The Last Command. Yeah.
But when the stormtroopers are like, they have those like jetpacks, and Finn goes, "They fly now?" I think they just wanted one of those lines.
Yeah, that's basically what they were going for.
So I'm looking at the Acolyte Rotten Tomatoes 84% fresh for critic score. 15 around 15. It's gone
down to 13.
Down to 13. Okay.
Yep.
And not to throw it in everybody's face, but we've got House of the Dragon 93 for critics, 87 for audience.
Yeah. So
we've got Acolyte pays 180 million for 8 30-minute episodes.
Yep.
Like,
and even this Sith Lord, the way he floated in, walked up to her. I will say this. The dude had balls to just freaking ignite his lightsaber, looking at her, and it's like, lights up the lightsaber in front of a whole bunch of fucking Jedi. It's like, this dude is either extremely powerful, extremely confident, or both, or stupid. Because it's like, you're interesting. Oh, yeah, I got triggered a Jedi lightsaber. And it's like, so then he's looking at her and he uses the Force like this. His face is like this, right? His lightsaber is over here next to her. Uses the Force to flick her off or send her flying off, like flicks his fingers. And then as the Jedi are running, he turns his head. He was just looking at her as it's like, you got bad editing here.
Mm-hmm.
That's bad editing, folks. That's bad editing. That's
like, you didn't catch that? Did you like not watch that through before you like, you know?
Yeah, it's like, sorry. If he's going like this, flick, and the Jedi are still coming at him, all he has to do is like flick, flap, or flick, push. There you go. Instead, no. Flick, cut the Jedi, cut back to him, head turned back, Force push. And I'm like,
that's how I feel about all of the
editing.
Disney like lightsaber scenes and stuff. Like,
yeah.
The editing tries to make it look cool, but ends up like just being inconsistent in its shots.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it just, you know, it looks slow, it looks sloppy, it looks. I mean, a lot of people have gone in and redone Star Wars, original Star Wars, the lightsaber battle between. I actually just reposted it on X.
Oh yeah, SC or SC 38 or something like that.
Exactly, they did a really cool redone version.
Obi-Wan versus Vader, or Ben versus Vader.
With with just upgraded, updated like fight choreography and stuff, and it was pretty cool. And the fans, for the most part, from what I've seen, have been like, "Oh, that's pretty dope! Like, sweet, you know."
Cool. I mean, it shows that Vader's more aggressive, and it shows that the old man still has some good moves in him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But this guy basically, the second he lights up his lightsaber, everybody else lights up their lightsaber. It's like, well, yeah, nobody has seen a fucking red lightsaber in a while, and apparently in Disney's canon, red lightsaber automatically means Sith.
Well, in the EU,
Legends canon,
it's because they're making their kyber crystal suffer and bleed.
Yeah, bleed. The whole bleeding thing. I don't fucking like that. Shit's stupid. It's just fucking stupid. EU folks, in the EU, red lightsaber crystals were synthetic. However, it was rare to find an actual red lightsaber crystal. But the lightsaber crystals for the Sith were synthetic crystals that actually made for stronger blades and whatnot. I mean, lightsabers were far more interesting in actual canon than than Disney's interpretation of their canon.
And the newer one, yeah.
Because then you can reverse bleed it and you get white blades. Like Ahsoka.
Reverse bleed it? What does that even mean?
Yeah, you cleanse it, apparently, is what they call it. Yeah.
Is that what the gray Jedi, the gray Jedi are with the white blades?
They're bringing in the gray Jedi. Also, by the way, apparently she had a discussion with the Bendu, that big old balance of the Force gray thingy in the skies above that planet or whatever. And calls her Jedi Knight, and it's like, she was never a fucking Jedi Knight, man. She quit the Jedi as she was an initiate. They never had the ceremony to give her the rank. She left
and then they welcomed her back after the whole, like, whatever shit blew over and they realized it wasn't her. And then she said she didn't want to come back after they told her she could come back.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't align with the Jedi anymore. And she peaced out on her own.
Yeah, and she actually fights Vader. And it's like, it's not the way for a Jedi to seek revenge. Oh, I'm no Jedi. She fucking just says it. Hello? Are you guys not paying attention?
And isn't that the point of having like a new Jedi Order? is that there's not supposed to be a lot of like Force users just like waltzing around. She wouldn't be friends with Luke like I forget which freaking show it was that portrayed them. I think it was maybe the Boba Fett TV show where you get Ahsoka and de-aged Luke.
Oh yeah, that was Mandalorian last season thing. Or that was the season before, or end of season 2. Yeah, Mandalorian.
So it's like, bro, do you even know these characters? I don't know. It's just.
But
At
yeah,
this point,
moving
you know.
on from Sith flying and weird or floating in Mary Poppins shit.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Yeah, right. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. I mean, somebody. Oh my god, that would be so fucking great. Have somebody clip that bit where dude is floating in, and just have like put in
I'm Mary
freaking
Poppins,
what's his
y'all.
name? Yeah, put in what's his name from
Michael,
Guardians
yeah.
of the Galaxy 2. It's like background or make it a background vocal like I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. It would just be so fucking awesome. Hey, also, it would freaking make the scene infinitely better. You know?
I would laugh.
Oh yeah.
It would get more than a chuckle out of me.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. So yeah, after people were basically giving their thoughts, their objective criticisms, and maybe that 1% of people who are actual fucking racists and misogynists and stupid people. Because yes, I'm not going to discount the possibility that there are
Which is
people
more
like that.
rare
I mean,
than you think, though. It's more rare.
yeah. Unfortunately, I have seen a couple of those 1%ers.
Yeah. No, I've seen them too.
Not going to name names, but I have seen them.
No, I know a few of them. I'm related to a few of them. So
sorry to hear that. But yeah,
distant, like third, fourth cousins. So that's cool.
Yeah, Amanda Stenberg, or Stenblurg. I fucking hate this name. I'm sorry, your name is weird, woman. Amanda Stenberg responds to critics with original Juneteenth song, writes off unhappy Star Wars fans as silly racists. Now, I'm not going to show the film or the video, folks. It's pretty fucking cringe. And I'm not going to play the audio because if you play the audio and the video of that twerking thingy that she does, her rage twerk video, I call it a ghetto video because I think that twerking is fucking stupid.
You sent that to me before this. He sent it to me before the stream.
I shared it. Yeah, I shared it on both. I shared it on both my accounts. The one that is more positive and the one that is more negative.
And I was like, oh boy.
I'm not going to say what I want to say. On this one, it's like, I have no problem saying what I want to say on here.
I needed a palate cleanse after that one, to be honest.
I'm willing to bet you probably needed some Pepto-Bismol from that one.
I was hurting, yeah.
So I'm gonna switch over to read some of the shit. Make sure that, or tell me if my audio dies or if I leave by accident.
Yeah.
So yeah, and admittedly, one of the most unique ways of responding to one's critics seen in recent memory, the Acolyte lead, Amanda Stenberg, has authored an original song in order to express her discontent with Star Wars fans who are unhappy with the series' direction. Titled Discourse. Yeah, this thing is just so fucking cringe, folks. The track is released by the actress via her personal Instagram on June 19th, otherwise known as Juneteenth, which I do not acknowledge, and was penned, as explained by Stenberg herself, as a clapback to her supposed silly or racist critics. Happy Juneteenth, and to those who are flooding me with intolerable racism, since it took me 72 hours on my laptop to make this song and video, you got 72 hours to respond, and I expect choreography. Now, get this, folks. She is copyright claiming any YouTuber who actually does this or who actually responds and looks at the video. She just freaking said, again, you got 72 hours to respond, and I expect choreography. She's now copyright claiming the shit. You wanted this. You got it. You didn't like it. So now you're freaking going after channels. Fuck all the way off, bitch. Played over black and white footage of Stenberg both singing and twerking like she's trying to summon her baby daddy to put another bun in the oven, as far as I'm concerned.
No, and it's crazy because she wants to like rage twerk or rage dance against people, but then she doesn't want to like hear the comments back. These people want to act like they're so freaking like tough or whatever because they're standing up to, you know, the mean fans or whatnot. Especially when you see, you know, all of the Disney or whoever employees just get on Twitter and relentlessly hate on people, and then they don't want to hear any backlash. We saw the same thing when Robert De Niro, he got up and he was like, you know, just calling out Trump, and then all of a sudden Trump supporters were like, you know, yelling at him, telling him he was washed up and stuff, and you could tell that he wasn't used to getting any backlash. You know, there's this like bubble that they live in where they get to say what they want to say because they're on a pedestal and it's posted everywhere. And then when anybody, meaning the masses that don't like what you're doing, have anything to say, you go, nope, I don't want to hear it. And it's like, okay, wow, you're so cool. Like, you know?
Yeah. Now, get this, folks. If you watch this video of hers, I'm telling you right now, if you watch this video of hers, it will look as if she is moaning and having sexual relations.
Gyrating, yeah.
Gyrating, moaning, looking like she's having an orgasm and other shit. And I'm not going to go through the lyrics. If you guys want to, here, I will copy this.
Post it in the comments.
And I will put it in the fucking comments for her on YouTube. Oh, Jesus Christ, come on. But yeah, this is basically going over the lyrics and shit. It's absolute hogwash. This is just absolute bullshit. And she's calling people silly, racist. She's clarifying the whole making white people cry was the whole point thing. Was the hate you give thing. And it's like, some of the people are immediately fell for the trap of her saying, oh, making white people cry was the whole point. Me, I'm like, I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna wait on this. Oh, right. Okay. Glad it did because, oh, guess what? She wasn't fucking talking about the Star Wars people. She was talking about an earlier fucking thing that she did. A 2018 film, The Hate You Give. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah, there's always a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah, it still doesn't stop a knee-jerk reaction. And it still doesn't, also doesn't change the fact that this woman is a racist herself. And whatnot. It's just absolute insanity, folks, that this girl seems to think that her twerking, her shaking her ass, looking like she's coming on cam and whatnot, calling people racist and shit. You think we fucking care what you have to say? I mean, honestly, you think we fucking care? You're calling you're painting every fucking person with a goddamn broad brush, bitch. That video looks like you're trying to summon your baby daddy to fucking knock you up. That's what that video looks like. I'm not going to fucking play it because I will probably get an age restriction on my fucking channel. Or a copyright claim even. So no, I'm not going to fucking play it. Orange and Nerd question. Would you say that she is worse than Rachel Zegler? Rachel Zegler isn't a racist. She is not going out there and fucking calling white people or saying that white people crying is the whole point to shit and whatnot. She ain't saying that shit. So in some ways, yes, Amanda Stenberg is worse than Rachel Zegler. However, Rachel Zegler thinks that in 2025, people are going to forget about Snow White and the stupid shit she said. Hate to break it to you, we haven't forgotten. But yeah, in some ways, I do think she is. What do you think?
No, I agree with everything you just said. I didn't hear anything. I heard a lot of stupid stuff from Rachel Zegler. I didn't hear any
Yes.
racist things from Rachel Zegler. I think she's dumb. I don't think she's malicious.
Yeah.
Versus,
And
I couldn't say the same thing.
yeah.
You know, it's not. It doesn't go both ways.
Yeah. And so, also part of the Acolyte. Moving on to that, because any final thoughts on the whole twerking thing?
No, I'd rather not think about it ever again.
Okay, good. So, lesbian complaints. Apparently, Leslie Headland has some problems with her own promotional material. So, yeah, she freaking coined and promoted this show as, oh, it's going to be my expression in Star Wars. She is a lesbian, folks, by the way. I don't blame her for being a lesbian, considering she probably had to do some unnamely things with Harvey Weinstein. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure any woman would turn gay after that. But let's get up on this. She's complaining about the lesbians in space shit. And critics describing Witch Coven as lesbians are not really paying attention. We can read body language. We understand that those two, that Zabrak woman and black woman, the one that's kind of pictured here on the screen. Let me go over there. Keep a lookout for my thingy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one, Anastasia or whatever. Yeah, they kind of made, or the way that she clasped the other one's chin in a very affectionate way. Willing to bet there's something going on there. It's called body language. Read it. So
also, wasn't that okay? So now she has a problem with lesbians.
Yeah, I mean, getting to it. They're not really paying attention. Claims the series is the most important piece of art that she's ever made. Yeah, at the expense of a franchise that people loved.
Mm-hmm.
You put your own twists on it that people did not agree with, that made no sense to put into Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Despite the term being perfectly apt to describe the Acolyte, showrunner Leslie Headland believes that anyone labeling the members of the newly canonized all-female Space Witch Coven as lesbians is not actually paying attention to her story. I carried them. I created them. The embattled showrunner and former assistant to Harvey Weinstein, who has been convicted in California of doing some heinous shit to women. And this woman was his assistant. So I wonder what she knows. Possibly what she's even helped do. Possibly. Allegedly, maybe. The embattled showrunner and yada yada offered her thoughts on the criticism leveled towards the entry in Star Wars franchise while speaking to Hollywood Reporter's Brian Davids following the airing of the series' 4th episode day. Beginning their time together by reflecting on the backlash of the previous interview with the Rap's Drew Taylor. Hey, I know that name. In which she appeared to affirm the widely held belief among test audiences that the Acolyte is the gayest piece of Star Wars media yet. Headland informed her host, I was surprised by the question. Amanda and I just burst out laughing because that's our knee-jerk reaction of being asked that. But to be honest, I don't know what the term gay means in that sense. She added, clarifying, I don't believe that I've created queer with a capital Q content. You have these two fucking flirting with each other in the Jedi Temple. That's lesbianism.
Yeah.
That's a sexual attraction between two females. these two clasping each other's, or clasping this chick, her, clasping her cheek in a very affectionate manner. And also partners in crime in creating the kids. So yeah, I'm sorry, but that's kind of LGBTQ content. From there, Davids then pressed Headland for insight in the recent third episode introduction of the aforementioned able to create life force lesbian space coven with, or witch coven. Yeah. In turn, showrunner explained, they're in a matriarchal society. As a gay woman, I knew it would read that their sexuality is queer. Okay, so hold on. Whoa. Pause. I knew it would read that their sexuality is queer, right? She just said that. Yes, Kate?
Yes.
I don't believe I've created queer with a capital Q content.
So is the Force female? Is queer? Like, make up your mind, Disney. Are you DEI? Are you not DEI?
Herself.
Are you making a queer show? Are you not making a queer show? Like, make up your mind, lady.
And but yeah, she just contradicted herself with the queer thing. But there also aren't any men in their community. Okay, so that makes sense that they would possibly seek sexual release or tame their urges with another woman. So a closeness between the two of them would be natural. It seemed plot-driven. Queer content with a capital Q. I would say it's really reductive to call them lesbians. That's what they fucking are. I think it means you're not really paying attention to this story. I think we have. However, despite her rejection...
This is why nobody likes your stuff, guys. This is why. This is why right here. This is why.
Yeah. So, despite her rejection of this read of the Witch Coven, Headland made sure to note that she was proud of being a gay woman who accomplished this feat. And certainly, if my content is called queer, I don't want to disown whatever queerness is in the show. I would be proud to create something that inspired queer people. You know what? If I was a entertainment creator, if I was a person that created entertainment for everybody, I would want them to be inspired by morals and virtue. You know, morals and virtue. It's very important things, you know, the important stuff. As their time together came to an end, Headland concluded the interview by responding to overall backlash. In particular, the parts regarding her overt focus on gay themes leveled towards the series thus far. Honestly, I feel sad that people would think that if something were gay, that it would be bad. That's not what we're fucking pointing out. She admits to Davids. It makes me feel sad that a bunch of people are on the internet would somehow dismantle what I consider to be the most important piece of art that I've ever made. Here's the thing. It's your agenda that you put, it is by your own fucking admission. It is by your own. I don't need the fucking, or at current, yeah. Let's see here. It is by your own fucking admission that it was agenda driven, that you were putting this queer stuff in your fucking show. And you have a problem with people calling it out. You put this shit in a Jedi show. Jedi. who do not focus on sexual relations, Jedi who avoid personal attachments. And yet you also have a Jedi who is showing romantic interest in another person. I mean, it's not unheard of. We all know what happened to Anakin Skywalker.
Mhm.
However, you have, or this is what you have done. Fucking own it, bitch. And by the way, or if she ever does see this, I am calling her this shit out because here's the thing. Guess what? I'm going to call it out. I am going to call you a bitch because you are disrespecting all of us. People who actually do love Star Wars, not the shit that Disney's peddling because that's not Star Wars, nor the shit that you created inside of Disney. It ain't Star Wars. Hate to break it to you. But the thing is, you haven't earned our respect. I don't call people who I respect bitch or dick or whatever, unless I'm joking around with them. But I mean, yeah, Kate's a bitch. But yeah,
Yep.
and yeah, I'm a dick, you know. But the thing is, folks, I'm calling her that to show disrespect to her because I don't respect her. She doesn't respect us. She doesn't respect critics. She thinks that everybody who has given objective criticism to her show, she is thinking that, oh, you're all a bunch of fucking racist, misogynistic, patriarchal pieces of shit. That is what she is thinking. She may not have said it out loud. In some ways, she may have. But you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. Jacob's stream. Oh, hey. Good to see. Oh, hey, Vanya. Yeah, Jacob is live, I do believe. And yeah, the Force is gay. The Force is
Gay and female now, like.
Yeah, apparently the Force is gay and female.
And black.
But, yeah, and black, I guess. Fucking whatever. But the point of it all is, folks, is
whatever African American means in space.
Yeah, she has a problem with this shit, and yet, let's see here. Yeah, she has a problem with, and yet, she is the one who fucking created this shit. She has a problem with it, with people calling out what she created. You put it, or it's a public venue. It is
like you wrote it.
Yeah.
And since so, when people put things out on a public venue, they're not open to criticism. Since when?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, it just goes to show that she has very little to no self-awareness.
Oh, for sure.
Make sure that you all smash the like button while you're here. I do know that I'm skipping a little bit because my page is loading for my next point here. So just bear with me for a second, folks. Alrighty, let's see here. That's funny. But getting to bookmarks. All bookmarks. Because I bookmarked this thing for our next topic. Is there any final topics on the thing that you want to talk about, or the thing that we're currently talking about?
No, you're good.
All right. So let's shrink that because I don't want people seeing shit or certain shit, like messages. That shit's private. And so, yeah, our final our closing topic for the night, folks. Disney has shown their racist side with incontrovertible evidence. The evidence is absolute, folks. So I am going to pull up this thing in a second. In fact, I actually have to stop sharing for a second because I have to turn on the audio for this in order to play it. Yeah, I didn't share audio the first time. It makes the signal easier to show. But yes, Disney, a vice president to one of their companies, has full on admitted that they don't want to hire white people. And also, if you're fucking black, get this. If you're half black, half white, if you don't present as black, they won't hire you. So,
wait,
holy
present
shit,
as black? So even
yeah,
if
your
you're black,
skin's not dark enough, if you're half and half, if your skin's not dark enough, you ain't getting a job at Disney.
wow.
Neozoic, Orange and Nerd, how do you feel about people's counterpart or argument of what about Jedis that have romantic feelings, relationships such as Obi-Wan and Siritachi, Kit Fisto and Ayla Sakura? I never knew that Kit Fisto and Ayla Sakura had a thing.
Me neither.
That was weird. Was that Legends or is that Disney stuff?
I didn't like Obi-Wan's, and I didn't like that storyline.
Well, that's the Clone Wars one is what's her name? Mandalorian.
I don't even. Yeah, Mandalorian chick.
Duchess Satine. But Siritachi is from the Legends, and they had that shit kiboshed, and or they had that shit quashed, and well, yeah, they ended it platonically, and they continued on platonically.
You know, I will say, I don't know, because under kind of like the new Jedi Order that Luke,
he does allow attachments, as long as they don't overtake your Jedi initiative.
Right, but like his style of being a Jedi, I guess, is friendship is good. Friendship is good. Attachments are good. Sacrificing yourself for your friends is good. You know, oh, they may die. Well, then I really gotta go and try to save them. Then, you know, it wasn't just. I guess he didn't realize the weight of the importance of the Force and why, you know, he was like the last one, or you know, the first one in the new generation of Jedi, I guess. Yeah. But anywho, yeah, that's all. That's all I don't know.
As for Siritachi and Obi-Wan, I do believe that they went their separate ways. But yes, the new Jedi Order does do romance and whatnot. However, he makes sure that they do not allow their personal attachments to get in the way of their Jedi missions and whatnot. But moving on to this. And how do I feel about their arguments? I mean, if they make them well prepared and if they do a good job at expressing it, right on. Good counters. However, you better make sure that you put it in a way that's actually going to make sense and can't be countered and utterly destroyed.
Yeah, like if you can make a good argument, make a good argument. Go ahead. Like, yeah, prove me wrong.
And then see if somebody... Yeah.
Right, because I can change my mind. I'm not super well versed with Star Wars as much, and as I get more well versed in the EU, I might start not liking the things that I like Clone Wars. You know, my opinion might change based on that. You know what I mean? Like I might like the original lore better. You know what I mean? So things, you know, people's opinions change, but like if you wanna, Orange and I just disagree on a few topics, and that's okay that we can just be like, oh, okay, you just see it from that point of view. That's fine. Like it's okay that you like that, or it's okay that you dislike that. And hello,
Kitty.
But yeah, like, but what's not okay is to be racist.
Yeah. Don't be bigoted. Don't fucking blind bash shit, you know?
Right? And like stop. I think and you've mentioned this before. Morgan Freeman brought up a great point one time. He said the reason how we solve racism is you stop calling me a black man, I stop calling you a white man, we just stop talking about race all the time. We just move on with our lives. And I think that's what we should do. Like, just stop being racist.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, folks, if you're going to critique something, look at it through an objective lens. Look at it through anything but what they want you baited to do. I mean, yes, call out the identity politics for what it is. It is their agenda to put the diversity in there. But but also make sure that you have a proper argument and an objective argument to go with that assertion, so you don't come across as racist or homophobic or whatever the ists and phobes that they call you.
Right.
That is what I have been saying, and that's one of the reasons why I got so much flack by my own fucking community over the last week and a half. Because it's like, I wanted people to simply stop freaking doing the gay bashing shit, because you're only fucking playing into Disney's hands then. But you know what? Fuck me, because I'm just a Disney shill, right?
Yeah, how dare you use rationality? Because on both sides, there is just hate mongering, and I just want to hate for the sake of hating. It's not just on.
It doesn't, except it won't work when you're doing comparatives.
No, yeah, I completely agree with you. Yeah, it's not going to work.
I mean, the shit just doesn't fucking work. But moving on to our final topic, because this is the more important topic that I wanted to talk about. We have a video from James O'Keefe, and let me know about my audio if it's skipping or anything. I'm sorry if it does.
Yeah.
So apparently this guy is Michael Giordano, Senior Vice President and Team Lead of 20th Television, the Walt Disney Company. So this guy is apparently about to admit that the Walt Disney Company deals with race or deals in racism for their hiring practices. So let's get into it, folks. Let's hear it from his voice. Now, this is a 20-minute. We're only going to go over basically the introduction to it. I don't know why that thing's coming up. But yeah, we're only going to go over the introductions to it because he says all you really need to know in the first few minutes. But I will link it in the chat on YouTube. So if you want to check out,
you can just get the
yourself,
zinger in your stream.
You can check out the full video, the full 20-minute, 48-second video on YouTube. You have to go. Thank you so much for tuning in, Nizog. Make sure you smash the like on your way out, man. And have a good one, dude. Thank you so much for tuning in. But yeah, let's hear what this guy has to say. And I'm actually going to mute myself. Or I'm going to mute myself.
Certainly, there have been times where, there's no way we're hiring a white male person.
Just kind of unspoken.
There are times when it's spoken, but
how would they say it?
There's no way we're hiring a white male person. They say
like straight to you, or okay.
They'd be very careful how they message that to agents.
According to these videotapes, Disney blatantly discriminates against white men in particular.
I think I'm sort of well prepared for it. I'm well positioned for it. But as far as Disney's concerned, I'm a white male. That's not who they're looking at promote at the moment.
As a white guy, even Michael has his own doubts about the possibility for advancement for himself at Disney. In fact, Michael actually got to experience Disney's discrimination against white males firsthand.
I've been at the company 11 years now, so I have friends in HR and I have friends in those divisions, and they're like, look, nobody else is going to tell you this, Mike, but they're not considering any white males for the shop. They're just not. That's not what they want.
They even passed over a qualified half-black person for a promotion. They didn't look black enough.
We wanted to hire somebody in the department a few years ago now. who was half black, but didn't like appear half black. And there was a creative executive who was like, "We're not like that's not what's going on." Like they wanted somebody in meetings who would appear a certain way, and he wasn't gonna bring that to the meeting. I mean, it kind of feels like we're, you know, at some point there's going to be a lawsuit. That's kind of how it feels, just because of, you know.
And that is a lawyer talking. So how does Disney explain pushing these discriminatory practices? They use code words and buzzwords.
I'm guessing that there's a acceptable code words and buzzwords that are used to explain what they're looking for. They might say something like, you know, look, we're not looking at like the usual suspects for this job. You know, so it's like not like a legally actionable thing, but everybody knows what it means. They, you know, for writers and actors, I hear all the time, like, you know, looking to hire writers and actors who bring diversity. I'm not looking to bring on any more clients who are white.
Isn't that
That's pretty
illuminating?
damning. That's pretty damning.
That is illuminating.
Not at all surprised. Not at all surprised.
And yes,
Not
folks,
even-
I was pausing to so I don't get hit with copyright. But yeah, Disney, folks, I've been calling out Disney for a while. You know me. I'm an anti-Disney channel. Except for the older stuff. Yeah. I am the anti-Disney channel. Pretty much. But yeah. This is a vice president of one of their companies admitting of racist hiring policies.
Illegal hiring policies.
Yes, that is a violation of civil rights codes from the 70s. Hello,
Even
kitty.
my cat's upset about it.
Yeah. That's one pissed pussy. But folks, I mean, I've shared the video, or I've done my report on that pedophile that worked for Disney's talent division, who got transferred to another division to protect her after she had sexual relations with a 15-year-old boy. I covered that like 4 years ago. Yeah, I haven't been on here 6 years. 4 years ago.
Yeah, you've been covering that for a while.
And that's one of my highest viewed videos. I mean, pedophiles work at Disney. Racists apparently work at Disney now. So,
no surprise.
Whenever there is a freaking Florida sex trafficking sting, a Disney, or most of the time a Disney employee or employees are involved and caught.
You know, it's funny because I have a very close family friend. She works at Disney. She's been working at Disney for a long time.
God help her.
She worked for the cruise ships, and then she worked for the doing like costumes and stuff for like the parks and whatnot. And she hates Disney. Like, she used to love them, and now she's just like, I use my discount on freaking everything. I cash out on all of like my perks and benefits. Like, she's like, she wasn't planning on moving, but she went to a different company and got an offer just so that Disney would give her a raise. Like, she's just like,
she's manipulating the system.
yeah, she's working the system, you know. Like, so it's hilarious because I won't say like which state she lives in just to keep like the most anonymity as possible. But I went to go visit her recently, and she was like, it's on me because Disney has restaurants here and I get a discount. And I was like, Heck yeah. Like
Yeah,
use
don't expose
like
too much because shit people can actually find shit out like
right. No. I would never want to betray any sort of, but
Yeah.
it's funny how working closely with a company can either make you love or hate the company. Like the company that I work for that I shall not name either. I don't think I'm legally am allowed to.
Don't.
But I love the company that I work for, and I love the mentality that my managers have. And then you have the opposite from somebody who works at Disney. So like even an insider is like, this freaking working for this company is garbage. So
Wow. That's
yeah,
fucked up.
but it is funny that she was just like the way that she's trying to like work it.
But yeah, so this Giordano guy, it's exposed in the video that he went on some dates, and he's very talkative on his dates. And
all of these guys are. I feel like all of these videos.
O'Keefe's, that's his.
Oh yeah,
that's his MO. Use
like he
dating
just
apps.
gets a bunch of people on dating apps, like real people. Like just get a bunch of journalists on dating apps, have them go out on an actual date, hook them up with a mic, and like go on a date. Yeah.
It's like go on a date with these guys.
If you're in the area and you just randomly get like, oh, I went on a date with a Silicon Valley guy because I live in the area where I would get Tinder dates with Silicon Valley guys, or I don't know
and the
how.
problem is mainstream media. Zip. Not a peep.
Not a peep. Yeah, they don't talk about it like in the slightest.
Not a fucking peep.
Even though it's very newsworthy.
Obviously,
because if it were the
ABC
opposite, if he found a video of somebody saying, hey, we're not going to hire any black men.
Oh, it would be out there.
All over the freaking
That would
news.
be world news, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. It would be on BBC. It would be, because...
Yeah, everywhere. But get this, folks. I guarantee you, ABC will never air that footage. ABC will never even talk about it. Because, in case you guys don't know, ABC is owned by Disney. So, yeah, ABC News won't touch this.
They're going to cover for them. Yeah, absolutely.
No, they won't touch it. They're going to
stay silent. What I mean is they're going to cover them. They're not going to.
Yeah, they're going to cover it up. They're covering for them. They're not going to cover that. So, I mean, I wish I had some notoriety and repute to actually go on to news organizations. And if I was brought on ABC, I'd be like, why haven't you guys ever covered how Disney just got exposed as racist hiring practices where they aren't going to hire white people? I mean, I know that you guys are owned by Disney, but don't you think that kind of stuff is worthy of reporting on? I mean, I would do that, and I would probably never be welcomed on ABC News again. I don't mind.
No, and I definitely will say though, my mom, she's in broadcast journalism, and it's not the journalists who they pitch their stories, but it's really like the news directors and stuff that will say yay or nay. So even if a journalist wants to be honest and come forward and say, hey, I want to make a story about this because it's important and it's newsworthy, it'll usually be the news director or the producer who will shut it down. So, they're a part of that system too. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is just absolute fucking bonkers bullshit that these people, they think it's like the only way you are not, or you're going to get your fucking employees to not expose you, stop going out on dates.
Right. And stop doing bad stuff.
But also, stop doing bad shit. They've had whistleblowers. Some of them kind of went missing. But it's like, I'm serious, folks. Disney, I've been telling you guys for fucking years, Disney, or there have been reports going on with with their contracts and their policies openly stating that they're racist and stuff, where they focus on ratting out white or any right-leaning or conservative viewpoints, and people will get raises. I mean, this stuff has been reported on, but this is actual hard evidence. This is an actual freaking Disney vice president or a company of a vice president of Disney admitting that they won't hire white people. Can you imagine if you are trying to get a job anywhere, you're down on your fucking luck, and so it's like, fuck it, I'll try to work at Disney, but I'm white, and it's like, well, I'm sorry, we're not hiring right now. Because he's white. He could be more than qualified for the job. They won't hire him because he's white. That is fucked up. And I'm sorry, Disney needs a full freaking class action lawsuit against them for this sort of thing. They need people who have been turned away over the last few days or over the last few fucking weeks, months even. Go after them. Sue the shit out of them. Because that is what they have done is illegal. It is a violation of your civil rights. You have every right to seek recompense from this.
Right. If you were a pregnant woman and they said, we can't hire you because you're pregnant, you're about to go and we're going to have to,
we don't want to pay for your fucking maternity leave.
Maternity leave. Illegal. Like same thing. We're not going to hire you because you're a white guy. Illegal. We're not going to hire you because you're a gay man. Illegal. We're not going to hire you because you're a straight man. Illegal.
Yeah. Violation of civil rights and shit.
Right. We live in a republic that has rights for its citizens, and those rights can't be violated when looking for a job.
Yeah. And so, yeah, folks, it's now said and said, or let it be known and let it be shown. Disney, you're fucking racist. And you got
as
caught.
We knew, but now there's video proof. Yeah.
And now we have proof. And it won't disappear. So I'm willing to bet that this Giordano guy is about to be fired. He is about, and Disney will give some half-hearted statement. We here at Disney do not support what this man has said. He has maliciously maligned our company and is no longer employed.
He does not speak for the values for this company. Yeah.
They're gonna try covering their ass. They're gonna try firing, or they're gonna fire him. And here's the thing, dude, Giordano, if you're smart, and if they fire you, fucking testify.
Mm-hmm.
Testify on behalf of all those people that just freaking or who have been turned away due to the color of their skin. Testify.
Go to Ron DeSantis's AG. Go to DeSantis's AG.
Be a whistleblower.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing that's going to save you from, or save your job now. But anyway, folks, that is our closer for tonight. If you liked our content, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Follow me on Twitter or X at these two accounts. This is my original, the one, the only, nothing but positivity over there. This one is my blue check, in which you will see some positivity, some rather very unabashedly honest stuff over there. So yes, y'all have a wonderful day. And Kate, is there anything you want to say before we go?
Long live Queen Rhaenyra, and let's go House of the Dragon. And sorry, I'm geeking out. I'm geeking out about this. And just to quickly, because last week I was like, yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I was excited and I knew it was gonna happen because I've read the books, but it was so sad to see it. When you're expecting and you're like, this is gonna be great, and then you watch it and you're like, oh
shit, yeah.
That broke my heart.
It hits you harder when it's visual.
Exactly. When you read it on a page, you're like, oh, okay.
But now
when
that
you
you
see
have
it,
context, visual context,
yeah, it's like, oh, oof. And that's not the worst one. So I'm like, oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. Okay, here's the train ride that we're gonna get on. So if you want to get on the train ride with me, I will probably be tweeting memes and content, or not content, but like stuff over on my X, formerly known as Twitter. I am at nerd with a cigar. And I tweet nerdy content. And I will be going to a couple of conventions soon and posting photos. So if you'd like to see any of any questions to be asked at panels or anything like that, send them my way.
Yep. Alrighty, folks. With that, thank you to Riot Kitty, Vanya, and
Neozoic.
Neozoic.
As always with the good questions, Neozoic.
Yep, Pierre in the chat. And anybody else who have been watching on X, thank you so much for supporting. Also, I'm gonna give a few shout outs here. Thank you to my friend Caroline who watches.
Caroline
and whatnot. Also, my buddy Jay Accent, got to see, or thank you so much for following me, man. You are one of the loyals, and I do appreciate you. So big shout out to you, dude. As well as who was the other one that I wanted to give it to? Well, not that way. Vanya, who is one of the loyals as well. Dude, big shout out to you. You are awesome. And
yeah, Vanya's always in the chat.
Yep.
Vanya's always here.
And thank you to Kate for always being a great co-host and whatnot.
Thanks.
You guys are all making it worthwhile. And so also, if you can, I'm trying to get to 2,000 subs before the end of the year. If you can help me on that journey, please do. Thank you, everybody. Y'all have a wonderful night. And always remember to stay humble.